It's interesting. I usually find a jumping off point, even if I'm not sure it's the right place to, the entry point. You know, there's usually kind of a consensus, like I think, okay, that's good. This morning, I didn't like the jumping off point, which I think might be significant in the reading. The words were happy and humbled. And for some reason, I really bristled at that humbled part, which maybe says more about me than about the reading. But I think somebody in this equation has some skepticism about whether those two can even go together. And I think, you know, for me, it really depends on, well, I don't know, what I'm taking a knee to, what I'm humbling myself in front of or for. So this is troubling to me. It just, so you know, going into it, I'm like, really? Because it was happy and humbled. Happy but humbled? Maybe it's, I don't know. So hello. It's like, you might want to click off right now if that sounds not so promising. Yeah. I'm going to keep going though, because I humble myself to the direction of spirit or whatever it is that sort of leads the way. I mean, if I can't trust it for you guys, what am I doing here? Maybe that's a legit question. 8 of Wands. Well, that to me is good news coming in, or a good conversation. It kind of, without being argumentative, gets to the point of something, gets to the center of something. It can be a message that, well, it indicates some kind of forward movement, almost like the log jam of these wands has broken. You know, whatever was keeping them in the quiver, or however you want to put it, you know, stuck in the tides or the current, suddenly there's movement. Happy but humble. Okay, the 7 of Wands. That's kind of like well, it could be like the log jam, because 7 of Wands can be resistance. But here I'm seeing it as somebody who's ready to stand up for something or for themselves. I think I get sort of almost like pride from this card. Like, look at what I've achieved. I'm proud of, 6 of Wands is usually pride, but this is, yeah, let's find out what it is. Strength. That kind of, to my mind, lines up with pride. Not ego, you know, not like puffed up, but somebody who's overcome something, and now they can come forward. Usually it shows just the maiden and the lion, but here there's this approach, almost coming up behind the maiden and the lion unexpectedly. I think somebody may be surprised that the fact that they stood up for themselves in fire energy was perceived as strength, because it was strength on the part of the other person. this Leo energy of, I am not afraid to stand, almost like, if somebody's a bully or is trying to push some agenda, this is the person who would stand up in the crowd of people and say, up yours. Come for me. They're not hiding, they're standing up against all these, perhaps other people who don't stand up. And it takes courage Seven of Wands, Eight of Wands. What it does is unblock. This can be a card of blocking, but in this case, it's like the fact that perhaps this fire sign, perhaps a Leo, stood up for something, unlocked the energy. So it's kind of a paradox. Their block against certain things unlocked the energy for it looks like communication, principally. And there's, there are all these wands coming in, and one of them has what looks like a letter or a scroll, something, some message written down. They're brave. They're doing it. Wands energy. And this is as much about this fire sign's relationship to themselves as it is about the person they're communicating with. The more they do this, the more, it's like, I'm brave enough to be seen. I'm going to stand up. I don't think it's to a bully. I think it's to somebody maybe that they didn't have successful communication with before. Okay? Six of Swords. Both of those, Eight of Wands and Six of Swords, indicate movement. No longer stuck in the fight, Five of Swords, moving on to something calmer and clearer and more straightforward. And this is also the card of movement. Swords can speak to speech as well, and clarity. It might be like, now that things have calmed down, we can have this conversation. Something may have gotten fairly hot before, all this Wands energy. Like meeting fire with fire or something like that. Yeah, Five of Wands. That's exactly, this is not a comfortable energy. It's people at cross purposes vying for, they're outside the peaceful village, kind of having a rumble. And it's about who will submit. This is not a person who submits. They're kind of standing up in the midst of this confusion, this kerfuffle, this dust up. They're standing up and saying, here I am. This is what I'm gonna do. I don't know about the rest of you jokers. I know what I stand for. Eight of Wands, flow, that all the wands being kind of shot from the bow. And this is the opposite. It's, It's all the wands going in every direction. It's nothing is getting done. So maybe, you know, somebody may be fed up and is just moving on because they don't think they can get through to this, these people or this person. Five of Wands. It's too hard. Every time they try to find a way in, they're met with this static or this just bullshit. Under Strength, Hierophant. Holding, you know, it's the, I can't remember what it's called, but like this, the religious scepter, it's the shepherd's crook. It's, you know, I'm the one who leads the flock. But it looks awfully like a wand here. It's a card of earth energy of Taurus. Maybe like finding the strength within. But this can be a card of the external, you know, if somehow the rules and regulations, there may be too many rules and regulations somehow in this relationship, in this commitment, Hierophant. Too many rules and regulations. And then in the absence of the rules and regulations, everybody goes nuts. I don't get this, except I'm very comforted by this one. Because it's a card of great compassion, too. Which, you know, kind of releases this, what had been withheld previously. Tell us about the Six of Swords, the moving on, please. Spirit, higher power. Moving on to Four of Wands. That's a very peaceful destination. That's, you know, where everybody's headed in that direction with positive expectations and intentions. People want to reunite. People want to, you know, have a good time. Moving on to a calmer state of mind. After this, you know, that was unpleasant. And I note that the Five of Wands and the Five in Major Arcana, Hierophant, are right next to each other. The argument may have been over what constitutes higher power. And somebody's saying, it's the rules and regulations. And somebody else is saying, no, it's the internal higher power. Not somebody else's rules. There's a disagreement about that. But one party is moving toward this calmer place, which is the Four of Wands. You know, safe harbor, a respite from whatever was in contention, or on Hierophant we have Nine of Wands. A lot of fire energy here. This is wounded warrior. Somebody who has tried to do something again and again and again. You know, has tried to persevere, to fight the good fight. But they're beaten up at this point. They're exhausted. They're ready to throw in the towel. You know, there's this sort of outside the walls of the village or whatever this kerfuffle is taking place. And there's this sort of village image again and this wounded warrior. Who maybe put up a good defense, like who fought the good fight, and has the, has the scars to prove it. And I'm beginning to see Hierophant here in that controlling aspect, because it can be that. It can be, I'm the boss, I have the shepherd's crook, follow me, do it my way. Because it can be rigid belief system. Somebody's fought their way free of that at some cost, and maybe had to fight a bunch of people. In order to begin to move toward this place. It's a little bit ironic because I have to fight for my peace of mind. Because I'm headed toward this peaceful abode, I'm going home, I'm going to celebrate with the people who, in the direction that I feel like, or that I intuit is my home. Going home, 8 of Wands. I'm hearing going home where the, something, I don't know the song. It's kind of a, like knee slapping, a little bit goofy, but it's joyful, it's upbeat, This was not upbeat. There's nothing about this traditional way of doing things, Wands, that's upbeat. It's all about the rules and the regulations, and somebody's basically saying, nuts to that. Tell me about 8 of Wands. I mean, I'm always for the rebel, I'll side with the underdog. I'll side with the guy who courageously goes their own way, who breaks the rules. 6 of Cups. Well, it's conversation with a soulmate. Somebody's coming back around. I believe we're still in Mercury retrograde. Because they want to return to, that has this element in the 6 of Cups, somebody they really care about, and they might travel to do it. Because both 8 of Wands and 6 of Swords have that element of, I'll make the effort to get there. To this safe harbor. And it's the predominant person in that place of reunion is the soulmate. Soulmate may have had to buck the system and battle for a long time a group of people who were basically saying, you can't make that change. 5s indicate a need for change. We won't let you go. You've made a commitment to whatever this hierarchy is. So the person fought their way out. They stood up for themselves, 7 of Wands. And they're going to talk about it with a soulmate, or they already have. It may be something like, I don't know, it may be like a letter by snail mail. Queen of Cups on the Strength card. The courage to be vulnerable, the courage to love. I think Queen of Cups is the soulmate. I'm not sure. I mean, the other person may be still stuck in some sort of belief system that makes them want to convince everybody else, don't go, you know, don't follow your intuition, follow the rules. That's it. Don't follow your, I almost want to write it down because I never can remember, but that's key. Don't follow your intuition, follow the rules, says somebody. And the other person says, somebody, perhaps an earth sign, perhaps a Taurus, perhaps somebody who's still stuck in that belief system. And the other person says, no, I'm following, you know, I have the strength of character and the will, fire energy, solar plexus energy. Like, I know what I'm doing. And I'm standing up for what I, you know, for what I have done, for what I have said, for, you know, things I've committed to. And it's all been done somehow in the name of love. And I notice she has the quill pen in her hand. It's something to do with like a love letter. You know, that she may be on the receiving end of a love letter. Equally, she may just have sent out kind of, you know, some kind of energy blast to this soulmate. I think she's on the receiving end of it, and the other person may think she's blocked me. 7 of Wands, 8 of Wands. She won't get the message. She will have already left. 6 of Swords. I mean, there could be, you know, one one of those interpretations might speak to a group of you, whereas the other twist will resonate more with somebody else, some of you. Tell us about the 5 of Wands, this fight that I think this person is left behind. Okay, now we have a King and a Queen of Cups. Matching in what they feel. And this King of Cups is looking right at the boat. The 6 of Swords, you know, basically my heart is drawing me to move in this direction, to move toward the meeting place, toward the place I meet up with the person I love, with the person I've loved a long time. But I think this person, maybe a Leo, had to fight for this. Had to sort of become the target of 7 of Wands, of other people's other people who didn't want this person to do that. Wands energy. Didn't want them to communicate with the soulmate. Certainly didn't want them to summon the courage to say, you know, don't get in my way. You know, take your rules and get out of my face. Don't get in my way. On 7 of Wands, the card of it's Judgment, which can be reconciliation, return, second chances, second life, some kind of phoenix energy of we're not the same this time. And we got all these sort of emaciated, like half-dead people rising up, answering a call. And they get the call. And they get on their feet. It's like, on your feet, soldier, something like that. You know, on your feet, soldier, you know. And the soldier gets on their feet. Despite the fact that they took a beating, you know. This King of Cups who just loved somebody and wanted to break away from the kind of angry pack, you know, the mob, a lot of people wanted to interfere, and King of Cups said, I am moving, you know, get out of my way. I know what I'm doing. I know what I feel. What I feel matters more than the rules and regulations. I will follow my intuition to this place and meet up with my Queen of Cups. You know, we have this kind of compassion for each other. I will meet up. I'll go in that direction, Wands energy. Six of Swords, Six of Cups, toward the soulmate. And there's something about this Queen of Cups that gives the King of Cups peace of mind. I mean, not that you can really ever give somebody peace of mind, but perhaps they'll have a conversation that, you know, that reassures this King of Cups. You know, we're not going to fight here. This is safe ground. We're not. This isn't the battleground. You've left the battleground. And you can heal here. Wounded healer. The wounded warrior, you know, who has fought this battle, is now popping out the other side, the wounded healer. We have on the board, I love the Four of Wands card. It's really like, almost like giving off a vibrate, almost like guitar strings that, you know, a chord, and the idea of a musical chord where the vibrations are harmonious. I like this reading a lot. We have Leo in the Strength card. We have Taurus in Hierophant. And that's it. So a lot is taking place in 3D now. It has this past life reverberation, like the chord business. And there's something about, you know, let's creatively discover a way to make this music or play this out, or it's another kind of lighten up energy. You've left the battlefield. And you might, if you're the, you know, anybody in this equation who has the desire, Wands energy, to communicate with the soulmate, you know, and kind of, I get the feeling that somebody, like the King of Cups, is pleading their case with the Queen of Cups. Give me a second chance. You know, I've stood up for this. I've had the courage to stand up for this against this gang of people who were trying to hold me back and keep me in this set of rules and regulations. And I have broken out. This is rebel love. This is rebel love. That makes me unaccountably happy. I like that idea, standing up for love against the machine. It's sort of like, Yeah. You're not in the war zone anymore, King of Cups. It's safe to feel. Hallelujah. I'll see you next time.